Great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break, giving yourself a fighting chance. I am delighted that you're back with us for this wonderful week that we have facing us. I know you may have been through some things, you've had some successes and some hills and mountains to climb, but you made it. You made it back to another episode, another opportunity to live life beyond the break, meaning Beyond the Break, give yourself a fighting chance is all about showing you how to, giving you the proper tools, number one, to live life beyond a break, beyond a success, beyond a heartbreak, beyond disappointment and frustration, beyond reaching your goal. So now that you've reached your goal, now what? What is life like now? Welcome my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, the visual encourager, to another episode of Beyond the Break.
Hi, everybody. It's a great day to be alive. I'm thankful to be here for every minute and every moment that we get. We are privileged and honored to be able to do what we've never done before. Welcome, everyone.
Awesome. Yes, we are privileged and honored to do what we've never done before because it's not another day. It is a new day. And we embrace that. You want to embrace that with joy. You want to embrace it with peace, with an outlook, a positive outlook, and with some hope. That's what we're going to talk about today, the power of hope. Hope is frail, it can be fragile, it's intangible. It may not be enough for you to feel like you can hold on to it. Sometimes it feels like hope is slipping right through your fingers. But we want to share with you today, just shine the light on hope and show you the power of hope and what it can actually do for yourself, for your life, beyond the break. You know, I'm reminded of a song. You know, as a vocal artist, I write songs, I sing songs, and songs really, they move me. The kind of songs that I write, the lyrics have an impact and the music makes me feel a certain way. Those are the types of songs that I share with others. Those are the songs that I enjoy from other artists. But in talking about the power of hope today, I was reminded of a song that really resonated with me for a while. I believe it was, I know it was Mariah Carey. I believe it was Whitney Houston singing it with her. And it goes a little something like this. Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts, a hope for song we barely understood. Did you hear that lyric? A hope for a song that we barely understood. So we're hoping for something that we don't even understand. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. How can you move a mountain long before you knew you could? You know what that makes me think of, Tichet, is that we're conquering and accomplishing things right now that we don't even know that we're doing. But
Very true.
The lyrics of this song. There can be miracles when you believe. Now, this is the part right here. This is why I'm singing this song. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Think about that. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. How is it hard to kill something that's frail and fragile? That's why we're going to talk about the power of hope today, because no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, no matter what the break was, whether it was a breakup, a breakdown, or a breakthrough, there is power in having hope. To shine the light for us, what is hope? Help our audience understand, our fellow attractive thinkers, what is hope?
Absolutely. So when we have hope, which is a belief in a belief in a certain particular outcome. For instance, you might say, okay, I hope things will get better. I believe that there's a possibility that things are going to get better. I hope that this works out. I believe there's a possibility that this thing will work out. You know, it really increases our mood. It lightens our emotions. It lifts our emotions up, because when you have that hope, you really are gaining clarity for a positive vibe in order for you to believe that this thing is going to work out for the best. So when we have a hope for something, we believe something's going to work out for the best. But when we don't have the hope for something, this is where when we lose that feeling, that disconnect. We believe that something is not going to turn out the way that we wanted to, or the way that we really are praying. We're not going to get the outcome that we're praying for. So when we have a hope and it increases our mood, there's so much power in it. You can feel the power in hope. A lot of us are looking at what's going on in today's world, and we're getting caught up in so much, you know, different traumatizations, different systems taking place, different things that we would like to see change, and we begin to feel like we are hopeless, that we don't have the hope that this outcome is going to change. So we tend to feel like we're stuck. We tend to feel like the thing that hurt us, broke us, or made us feel less than is more of a permanent thing as opposed to a temporary circumstance. So we start making permanent decision in the hopelessness, you know. So when we don't have that hope, really is saying we don't have the clarity. Because when you get clarity, that in itself will bring you hope. And when I say clarity, that means you're getting really clear of the bigger picture. You're clear on your mindset concerning whatever it is we're going through. You're clear that no matter what you're going through, you are a victor and you will make it out of this. You are clear that no matter what comes your way, you know you're going to win. You know that God makes no mistakes in your life. So you have that clear understanding, that clarity that this thing is going to work out in your favor. It working out for you. Things are happening. Remember, we're talking about things are happening for you and not to you. You have a clear understanding that no matter what is going on in this world, that it will work out for the greater. It will work out for the better. You know, God has a bigger plan. And if we can kind of put our minds on that and understand that God brings light to this world, and we are the light of the world. So this is why when we have that hope, it actually increases your mood, so that you can have that peace and the understanding, so that you can turn down that panic, that sense of panic, and that sense of loss, and that sense of permanence that hopelessness brings. So you can turn it down, so you can get an answer, so that you can provide the light of the world. So when we are doing Beyond the Break, that's what we're doing. We're being the light of the world. We're letting you know that there is so much more life beyond whatever you thought broke you, whatever you thought you couldn't make it through, whatever you thought didn't allow you to get up to move, where you feel stuck. There's so much life when you push past beyond that. So for me, hope is just really clear understanding that this thing is going to work out in the best way that we know.
That's good, Tichet. You know, I try to think is when we talk about hope, you mentioned something, Tichet, that triggered, you know, my response that I'm sharing right now. I looked up hope, and it says a feeling of expectation and desire for a thing to happen. Now, that's probably our common response if someone asks you, what is hope? It's an expectation. It's something that I hope will happen, or I hope the outcome will be. You have an expectation, a desire that this is what you want to happen. It also says that hope is wanting for something to happen or to be the case. It's a feeling of trust.
Yes.
So could it be that we get anxious, or we start feeling that sense of overwhelm, or that sense of lostness, or the feeling of wanting to let go, because not just because we don't have hope, but we don't trust hope.
We don't trust.
This is a feeling of trust also. Could it be that we don't trust that hope is enough? We don't trust that hope is going to do what hope is supposed to do. We don't trust that, because hope is so frail, like the song I just sang by Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston. because hope is so frail and fragile, we don't think that it's enough to handle what we're experiencing right now, or it's enough to pull in the outcome that we desire, or sometimes we're used to doing something to make something happen. It's hard to believe that we can trust something to make something happen. That's a whole different posture. It's a whole different approach, a way of going about the desired outcome that we're looking for. But hope is power. There's a lot of power in hope, even though it's fragile and frail and intangible. It's not something that you can hold in your hand, but it's something that you can hold in your heart. See, the heart has power. The heart is a powerful thing. We have to guard our heart. You heard scripture, because out of it flows the issues of life, flows everything about your life. Every decision you'll make comes from your heart space. Everything that you desire, every gift that you have, all your creative ideas come from your heart space. So when we have hope, we're stepping into our power. We're stepping into something that most people can't see or feel. You have to know when you step into something that is invisible, because it's the invisible things that are the eternal things. When you step into something that's invisible, you better watch out. You better watch out, because you don't know what kind of power you're accessing when you step into the intangible, the thing that's frail, the unseen, the invisible, the thing you can't touch, but you can feel it. Our feelings are more powerful than the things that we can touch with our physical hands. So when we talk about the power of hope, hope can move mountains. Hope can move you forward when you feel like quitting. Hope can create an outcome where there was no way. Hope can usher you forward and bring your whole family forward. All we need is one person to have hope. You don't need everybody around you to have hope. Hope is enough that if one person locks into it, it can produce the desired outcome that can deliver generations. Just one person accessing the power of hope gives you the fuel and the momentum that you need to pick yourself up off of the floor, to put one foot in front of the other, to think the next thought. Sometimes that life can break you down to the point whereas you don't even want to think anymore. You don't want to hear another positive saying or quote or phrase. You don't want to hear another song. I had gotten to the point, going through a heartbreak, that I didn't want God to sing to me, because I knew him singing to me was his way of building me up. And I knew that if I was built up, I would have to fight again. And I didn't want to fight. So don't build me up. Don't sing to me. Just let me lay here. Just let me be here. Just let me be, But when you have hope, hope ministers to you. Hope cures you. Hope heals you. Hope nurtures you. Hope comforts you. Hope builds you up. Hope supports you and protects you and guards you and nurtures you. That's the power of hope, so that you don't lose it all, so you don't lose everything. You've heard me and Tichet say this a lot. You can lose a lot of things in life, but when you've lost yourself, you've lost everything. If you lose hope, you're losing a vital key piece that keeps you moving forward in life. Back to you, Tichet.
And if you lose hope, you're losing, it is like losing parts of yourself, because you're losing clear understanding of who you are. I mean, it's so amazing. One of the things I wanted to say while you were talking was just a little inkling of hope. We say we have to have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So when we have an inkling of hope, it could move mountains. A mustard seed faith, and like you said, hope is trust. Now see, that right there is life changing, because when you have that trust, that does increase your hope. When you don't have that trust, you do tend to question everything. You second guess yourself. You second guess everything that's going on. You start to think less of. You gave really some powerful information as far as all the things that hope is. You gave a whole list of things that hope is. And I don't think that I've ever heard it quite so powerful. So I hope you guys were taking notes. I know I was. But you said it fuels you. So when you have that inkling of hope, it is enough to fuel you to keep going. An inkling of hope will keep you holding on. It will allow you to grasp the concept of moving forward. You said you didn't want God to sing to you because you were losing hope at the time. You were feeling broken at the time, and you didn't. What I think is it was you didn't. You wanted the outcome to change, but you didn't have the hope or the trust that it would. So him singing to you didn't seem like an answer. But when you push past and allow that hope to come in, because you can block hope.
Yes.
You can block hope with negative thinking. You can block hope with mistrusting, really. You can block hope. And so when someone comes to offer a positive video or a song, or when God comes to speak, and your heart is hardened, you can block that hope from coming in. But it is that inkling of hope that can move mountains, that will allow you to have the understanding of what to do next, allow you to have, the ability and the strength to move forward. Without hope, you'll feel stuck. Without hope, you'll stay where you are. You'll start making excuses and getting comfortable in the less, in the lack, in the hurt, in the pain. You'll start to allow yourself to become somehow okay with being heartbroken, being taken for granted, not having what you need. You'll start making excuses for it. And that's not where we want to live. We are victors. We are designed to win. We have way too much to do. We say we're being intentional, and when you are intentional, that's going to take trust, because you have to believe that there's a certain outcome when you're doing things, when you're going somewhere. And when you believe that, you go forward with all your might. You don't let any excuse come in and tell you you can't have it, you can't do it, you can't be it. We're fighting for so many things in this world. And with hope, we know that we can have this. This is why we fight. This is why we allow ourselves to go forward and do different things like march and stuff like that, because we believe that we not only can have it, but we deserve it. So when you have undeserving, that can kill your hope too. So some of the things that can kill hope, and I'm saying this so that we can look for this, so that we don't fall prey to negative thinking, negative self-talk. There's so many things that can kill your hope. We said one is mistrusting, not believing, taking, the opinions of others over what was given to you by the power of your spirit, undeserving, feeling not worthy, looking at the past, seeing that you failed before and thinking you won't win, because sometimes when we fail, we take the lesson from it, but that doesn't mean we're going to always fail. When we say 9 times out of 10, go to 9 so you can get to the 10 if you have to. But just do whatever you can to win. Don't allow that one to be your downfall, that one bad decision to be the reason why you quit. Have that hope and that faith, to go forward and be able to get the results you need. So not having hope and deciding to harden your heart so that hope doesn't come in will kill your opportunities to have hope, which will kill that belief and lower your emotion and allow you to enter into darkness, which will increase your sadness. So there's so many things that could block it and so many things that could cause it, but we have to maintain that hope with everything that we can. Whatever light is within you, you got to hold it with everything that you can. Yeah, both eyes, both hands, both feet. You have to hold that light, that hope with everything that you have.
Yes, I totally agree. Attractive thinker, the power of hope can extend your life. The power of hope will allow you the ability to see the fruit of your labor. The power of hope, even when you don't have strength, the power of hope will give you access to another space in your life, another level in your life that you will have never seen had you not had hope. See, like Tichet said, there are also things that can block our hope, like refusing to be encouraged. That can block your hope. God is trying to build your hope and, build your trust and build your faith and build your vision, your perception, your self-worth and your self-esteem, and fortify your power and your potential. Saturate that in you and build confidence and courage. And when we refuse to be encouraged, we're blocking our hope. I've discovered through the things that I've encountered and experienced in my life that it's the intangible things that are more valuable than the tangible things. It's the joy that's more valuable than the materialistic things in life. It's the peace that's more valuable. We did an episode that I posted today, I believe, My Joy is Priceless. Now today we're talking about the power of hope. I want you to understand, attractive thinker, money can't buy these things. A lot of pursuit in our lives and around the world is about money. But who's pursuing hope? Who's pursuing joy? Who's pursuing love? Who's holding on to and valuing, putting a high price tag on their peace? It's the intangible things that keep us fortified. They give us substance. They ground us. They root us. They strengthen us to continue on the journey to self-discovery and self-assessment, self-empowerment, and improvement in our lives. So when we talk about the power of hope, don't let go of your hope for anything, because hope knows all things. Hope knows the outcome. Hope knows where it's taking you. Hope knows why you need it and how much hope you need. Don't let go of your hope, because hope knows things that you don't know. It sees things that you can't foresee. If you just lock it in, if you just focus on and hold on to and guard your hope, don't let people take your hope. Don't let situations and circumstances cause you to lose your hope. We can lose hope. Think about something that's lost. You can't find it. You don't want to get to the point where you can't find your hope. You look to the right and to the left, and you can't even find the hope that you had, the little bit of hope that you had. You don't want to lose your hope, because there's power in hope. Hope can ward off, it can be a defense for you. It can ward off the enemy. It can ward off distractions. It can ward off you losing other valuable things. When you don't lose hope, hope can help you hold on to other valuable things that you need on this journey. Hope can help you hold on to your self-identity. Hope can help you move into a brighter day, actually access a brighter day, make that brighter day that you've been hoping for your reality. Hope is a door. It gives you access to things that most people will never experience in a lifetime. Hope is a window. It's an open window for blessings to overshadow and overtake you, for unexpected surprises to just walk up on you and blow your way throughout your day. Hope gives you access. Hope is something that we need on our journey that keeps us lifted up. It lifts up our countenance. It lifts up our spirit when we want to feel the heavy, when we feel the heaviness, or we want to just lay there. Hope rises in us. That's the power of hope. It picks you up. Have you ever been through something that really knocked you to your knees, and your very best effort for the day was just to lay there with the covers over top of your head, but nothing changed? But all of a sudden, you just felt the wind of hope. You just felt the breeze of hope pass you by. You just felt the imagination of hope, or the thought of hope, or the whisper of hope in your ear. And you may have just turned over and still the covers are over your head, but you got a little half a smile on your face. Hope can put a smile on your face where life has wiped the smile completely off your face. Hope can dry the tears that were running down your cheeks. Situation didn't change, but hope came to restore you back to your hopeful state. Back to you, Tichet.
It came to restore you back to your hopeful state. So let me ask you this question. So when we are faced with those situations where we are trying to have hope, what do you think the process of building the hope is? For instance, I would think, holding on to our affirmations, doing our mental breakfast, lunch, dinner, like we talked about, holding on to who we are, holding on to why we're here, the purpose and the understanding. What do you believe is the process of building hope when we feel like we have lost that hope?
This is that's a great question. Thank you for that, because it definitely triggers some things in me. I believe that no matter what we go through in this life, I believe the number one thing that will keep us anchored even when we feel weak, keep us positioned for God to continue to move in our lives, or position to stay on the path, or position to continue on in the right direction and not let the winds of life blow you off of your path of prosperity and abundance and potential. I think the number one thing, because this has really helped me bounce back when I get knocked off of my game, it's remembering who you are. Remembering who you are, because if you can't remember who you are, then you can never access where you were before the break. You can never assess where you were going. When you don't remember who you are, you don't even know where you were going before you got knocked off your game. You don't even know why you were pursuing what you were pursuing before the break. But when you remember who you are, you also remember that you're a victor and not a victim. See, there's a difference. When you don't remember who you are, you could believe that you were the victim in this case. You could believe that you're a victim in life, and you could forget that you were overcoming before this break, that you were making progress, that you were progressing, that you were succeeding and accomplishing before the break. But if you forget who you are, this break could appear to be just another one of those disappointments in your already disappointed life. When you forget who you are, you also forget your being in life. You forget your power. You forget your potential. You forget your connection. You forget why you are here. You forget that you're chosen. When you forget who you are, you forget that you have the upper hand, that you're wired to win. When you forget who you are, you've forgotten everything that means anything to your success in life. So how do you continue to have hope in the middle of a break, a heartbreak, or a frustration? Or how do you continue to have hope for other levels of success when it took you so long to get to this level of success? Sometimes because it has taken you so long to get to this level of success, you're too exhausted to be in pursuit of another level of success. So how do you have hope and not stop in the middle of the road and say, this is it for me, I'm done, I don't want anything else out of life, or I'm tired of pursuing good and not experiencing that being returned to me, or I'm tired of it taking so long, or I'm tired of always in pursuit of this one particular goal. I don't want my life pursuit to be always trying to get here. So when you get to that place, the number one thing you want to remember, which is not hard, you don't have to seek or search for it, it don't take no energy, or you don't have to exert any effort to find it, is remembering who you are. Can you remember that you're an attractive thinker when you're going through something? Can you remember that you are power when you're going through something? Can you remember that you're chosen when you're going through something? Can you remember that you have gifts? Can you remember the times that you did succeed in your life when you're going through something? Can you remember that whatever you put your hands to turns to gold? Can you remember that all things are possible for you? Can you remember the times where God did pick you up when you fell? Can you remember the times that you broke through instead of breaking down? Can you remember that? Because that will give you hope to overcome this particular breaking point in your life. Back to you, Tichet.
And remembering all those things will definitely help increase your strength, because like you said, if you lose who you are, you lost your hope. You know, the thing about it is, you said you have to remember that you made progress before, you know, because that's one of the things that I know I've gotten stuck with before is I will get to a certain place and then I would forget that I've made progress. And then I would want to give up in that circumstance. And then because I can't see that I can't push past it. But once I remembered who I am, I remembered that, hey, I have gotten this far for God to let me down now. I have gotten this far. We come too far to turn back. So you got to get into the habit of refusing to quit and being intentional with holding on to who you are with everything that you have. You got to hold on to it like you will hold on to your baby, like you will hold on to your home. You got to do everything you can. Set yourself up. This is how you always doing a self-assessment. This is how you're always writing things when you're in your power to remind you over and over again. This is why I want this. This is why I'm going this way. This is why I'm doing this. Because when stuff hits the fan, we're faced with all this stuff. Our hope sometimes in our remembrance of who we are is the first thing that want to drown out. And we end up making decisions that don't match who we are. We make decisions based on that old default. And that old default will keep recreating the same response, the same outcome that we have gotten for here. But see, we are attractive thinkers. We want something new. We want something great. We're going from good to great. And in order to go from good to great, number one, you got to remember that things are still good. You can't get so focused on the negative and the dark and the lack of hope and the things that didn't go exactly the way that you want to, that you actually drain your own tub of water full of hope, you know, because you can do so by focusing on what didn't work out this way or what didn't happen that way. So you can't get stuck in the outcome, but get clear and get caught up in the fact that whatever the outcome is, it's going to work in your favor, because all things work together for the good, you know. So we hold on to that. What is the scriptures that you're holding on to? What is the statement? What is your mission statement? What is your life statement that keeps you moving every day? What is your understanding for why you are doing what you are doing? So all those things will allow you to remain clear on who you are, so you don't lose faith and that you don't lose hope. And so you don't have to live in a pool full of hopelessness, full of sadness. We don't have to live there. Understanding that you don't have to stay down is another thing, you know, because if you know that you are a winner and you are a victor, you know you can get up. You know, we felt so many times and we get so caught up in the judgment of that we actually limit how many times we get up in the judgment of that. Don't judge yourself. Just know that you're a winner. Know that no matter what happened, you still can win. It's working out for you. That outcome is going to benefit you. It is going to be great. No, it did not go the way you directly wanted it to go, like line by line. It didn't go the way you wanted, but you bet that outcome is going to definitely be in your favor. And having hope in that is because you understand that you are a winner. You are a victor. I mean, this is the power of hope is so amazing. It brings so much light and increases your energy when you have that hope. And I just hold on to it with everything that I can, because I refuse to go back to that darkness. I refuse.
Yes, I totally agree. You know, Tichet, you said something that just started spiraling with me, and I got stuck right there. You said all things work together for good. And when you're having hope or you're wrestling with hope, you're struggling to hold on to your hope, knowing that this and that is all working together and it's going to produce good. You know, when we were in math class, they said this plus this equals that, or this plus that equals this, or, you know, it was a mathematical equation that was guaranteed to produce that. It is a guarantee that all things, the favorable and the not so favorable in the same pot, when you stir it all up, it's going to produce the favorable. It's not like unfavorable plus favorable is going to produce unfavorable. It's not like favorable minus unfavorable is going to produce unfavorable. No, favorable plus favorable equals favorable. Unfavorable plus unfavorable equals favorable, and favorable plus unfavorable equals favorable. Either way, on the other side of that equal sign, it's going to be favorable for your good. It's going to produce good. No matter what variables are in the equation, on the other side of that equal sign, it's going to always equal good. Now, you might say, Dr. Toni, not what I've been through. Now, how can what I've been through produce good? Let me share something with you. You may not view it as good. It doesn't mean that good is not being produced from it. There are a million and one ways to perceive a given situation or circumstance. For example, I went through something at the time, I was like, for what? Like, what good could come from this? Why? How can this be beneficial to anybody? This is so devastating. But just because I couldn't see the good in it didn't mean others couldn't take good from it for themselves. I want you to understand that the things that we experience in life, we're not the only ones affected by it. People around us are watching how we go through things, and they're pulling fruit. They're pulling parts and pieces off of us for themselves. Just like when we see people in stardom or celebrities pass away, or our favorite singer or movie star or whatever, we didn't know them personally, but we can glean from their lives. We're plucking fruit, things that we can use to further our journey the rest of the way. And they don't know that. They don't know that we saw good in their lives, or we could take something good from their devastation or their tests and trials. They don't know that. And the same thing applies to you, attractive thinker. There is good from it, because if it wasn't, how is that people can get good from your break? How is that people can learn life lessons from your breakdown or from your breakthrough? How is it that people can be inspired by how you walking through life and how you go through your journey? They're extracting the good. They're pulling. They say, oh, that's good. That's a gem right there. Oh, wow, they went through that. Oh my God. How much strength do you have to be to go through something like that? Or did you still see that smile on her face? Or even though she was wiping her tears, I saw her strength, or I saw her fortitude, or how could she go through that with so much joy? People are pulling the good. The good rises right to the top when you go through something. I remember being in the kitchen as a little girl and my mom cooking, and it happened all the time with meat. Every time she had this meat in this pot and she was boiling this meat, all of this stuff will come to the surface. It was already in the meat, but when the meat got under pressure, what was in the meat rose to the surface. So when we're going through our breaks, be it a breakdown, a breakthrough, or beyond, living life beyond the break, or a breakthrough for success, whatever kind of break we're going through, we have to believe. See, hope is a trusting and a belief. We have to believe that there's some good that's rising to the surface, because that's why I say you have to know who you are. As an attractive thinker, when you go through something, you have to know when you're under pressure that your greatness is going to rise to the surface. Whether you see it as greatness or not, other people are going to get something great from your experience because of who you are. That's why that key piece, when you're going through something, never lose sight of who you are, because who you are is everything. It determines everything. It determines the outcome, how you see things, how you see your situation. Understand, you can't put greatness under pressure without greatness rising to the surface. It's all working together. It's all working together for good. Back to you, Tichet.
You said when you stir that pot, it rolls to the hope rises to the occasion, which lets me know that hope changes things.
Yes.
Because when you talked about your mother cooking, when you think about how the meat in that pot shift and changed in the midst of it, it was still the meat, it was still what it was, but the outcome of it changed. It all changed, and it all worked for the good. when we talk about all, we're saying no exclusion. There's no exclusion for anything that you're going through. That doesn't exclude this heartbreak that you're going through, this disappointment. That person said something, you lost this, you lost that, that person died, I got sick. You didn't, there's no exclusion. All things work together for the good. So you have to really believe and trust in the power of that. So when we look at a lot of the people who are groundbreakers, trailblazers, pathfinders that have made such humongous change in our life, those that are leaving legacy. See, this is where we are intentional. We are intentional on leaving a legacy. We want to make sure that we're not going through something for nothing. We want everything that we're going through to serve a purpose. It hurts when you feel like you're going through something in vain. Nobody wants to go on in anything in vain. We talk about a lot about giving birth and having the health of your baby in the mind, what you're going to produce, having that in your mind, your legacy in mind when you are giving birth to something, because it allows you to endure the pain. You trust that it's going to be okay. So it gives you that extra strength to push. I mean, it's so amazing to see all of these people that left all this legacy, all of the greats, right? So you think of, like you might say, Rosa Parks. She was tired of sitting at the back of that bus, and she decided that sitting in the front was the option for her. She had to have hope that she was going to be able to make it on out of this bus alive, number one. And she was going to be able to stay in the seat and still make it out of this bus alive in order for her to stand up for her rights, in order for her to, and then when we had to march and make change, it was the hope that all of us could sit in the front of the bus that made us go towards that. You know, you think of Harriet Tubman. What made her go all the way back to get the other slaves if she didn't have hope that they can make it too? But here's the thing. Some of those slaves had to believe and trust that because she made it, I made it. This is where you talked about where you're going through stuff and people watching how you're responding and watching how you're doing things and watching you rise from what some people might call the ashes or problems, what we call as opportunities. They're watching you and how you respond, and they're seeing, okay, if she did that, I could do this too. You know, she didn't allow anything. She could have got where she was and stopped, but she didn't have enough hope just for her. She had enough hope for her and more. You know, she had enough hope that she can save or help allow them to realize that they needed to be saved or that they needed to get out, get away, that they could win. She had to convince them that they could win. So they had to trust in that in order to follow her. But she set that example first. So when we go through something, don't allow it to be in vain. Allow it to be the example. Allow us to say, okay, what am I going to do now? How am I going to get out of this now? What hope can I hold on to pull myself out of this pit? Because we don't belong in that pit. We don't belong in the darkness. We are light. So when you're going through something, you say, okay, if I make it out of this, the generations behind me will know they can make it out of this. So giving up is not an option when you understand that you're leaving a legacy, when you understand who you are, when you understand that you have been chosen. Giving up and quitting is never an option. So no matter what you are going through, whatever you have to endure, keep your eye on the hope. Keep your eye on the faith. Keep your eye on the all works together for the good. You keep your eye on it and you just keep moving forward. You don't give up. You don't sit back. You don't go back. You know, unless you're going to get jewels and gems, you don't go back. You know, so when we think about the greats, they all had to endure some stuff. There are some people who we look at that we admire today, and we might look at them and say, oh, they might have it easy, or they don't understand what we're going through because they have this, that, and the other. They get to do this. They get to live that. You know, we look at that, but we really don't know what their story is. And there's a lot of power that come out of their stories. If you actually sit down and listen to what they had to break through that get here, when they get to tell you and line up all that they had to go through, it'll make you look at you and say, you know what, I can do it too. She fought through that, I can get that. Oh, you like, oh, that was a lot she had to break through. But do you look at that and say, yup, I can do that too. Well, how did she break through this? You start pulling gems from their story. You start looking at their story and say, you know what? This means that. What did that mean? You start gaining that clarity, and that clarity start building your hope. You start having a little bit of faith will give you a little bit of strength, and then you start moving towards that outcome. You start moving towards that, and that outcome is the all good. Remember, she said the unfavorable, the favorable means favorable. Like, that was just priceless. Like, no matter what, it equals favorable. You are always moving towards that favorable. So if you're listening to this video, you are one of the greats. We say it all the time. You are a groundbreaker, a trailblazer, a pathfinder, especially if you're sitting here listening to us, writing down these notes, taking this stuff and implementing them. You are a groundbreaker, you know, and so you are leaving a legacy. You are a victor. You are designed to win. Otherwise, this video would not have crossed your path. Yeah. This is purposeful. We're doing things on purpose. We're not doing things for nothing. We're not just in this video for entertainment. We're here for a purpose, which means you are designed to win. So whatever you're going through, know there's so much life beyond the break. You are one of the greats, and you can make it. So your outcome is always favorable. Brilliant, brilliant.
I love that, Tichet. You are so right. If you, attractive thinker, are listening to this message and you feel the fire burning in your soul, if you're listening to this message and when you started listening, you were laying down and you felt hopeless, and all of a sudden you are hopeful, you are on the same wavelength. You are an attractive thinker. You're one of the greats, like Tichet said. If you were at the verge of just letting it all go and you felt hope draining out of your body, you felt hope slipping through your hands, and now you're up and you're around the house and you're cleaning and you're getting yourself together and you putting your makeup and your hat on straight, you are one of the greats, because hope does what hope does best. It lifts us up. It multiplies. Do you know hope multiplies? And I thought about that, Tichet, when you were talking about Harriet Tubman. Hope wasn't just enough for her. It was enough for her to go back 19 more times and get other people and rescue other people and fight for other people and save other people and free other people. Hope was more than enough for Harriet Tubman to save people from a system that was bound to keep them down forever. I want you to think about that. The power of hope is more than enough. The power of hope is more than enough. It's more than enough for you. It's enough for your generations. It's enough for generations coming behind you. You are writing your story right now because of hope. And you think you're writing it for yourself. That hope that you have right now is writing your story for generations to come. People who haven't even taken their first breath yet will benefit from the hope that you're holding on to right now. I want you to think about that. People who aren't even a beep on the monitor will benefit from your sacrifice right now. They'll benefit from you holding on to hope and fighting for hope and believing in hope and following hope and, being nurtured by hope and allowing hope to build you up, allowing hope to be your guide. You're following hope. Sometimes you can find yourself in a place in life where you don't recognize anything, but you recognize hope. You recognize hope when it shows up. You be like, oh, I got it now. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm going or how I even got here, but I recognize hope and I'm familiar with hope and I know how far hope can take me as long as I'm holding on to hope. So, attractive thinker, if you enjoyed this message, we ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't miss one episode of Beyond the Break, because this was not your first break. This will not be your last break. And you will always encounter someone who needs beyond the break. Give yourself a fighting chance. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click like, share it. When you share Beyond the Break, our YouTube channel, you're sharing the light. You're sharing resources and answers and solutions. You're giving people hope. Tichet, please share with our audience how they can stay connected with the visual encourager.
Yes, you can go to my website at www.visualencouragement.com. We provide mental support for people who are dealing with depression, who desires to lift their heaviness so that they can create a new vision for themselves. You can go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can encourage you, uplift you, and ignite you so you can live a life of fulfillment. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love having you as a co-host because you are so full of fire and power. And together we shine this light and we shine it brighter. We make it greater and brighter. And we actually hold on to our hope and we build up hope and we reveal hope to others. You have hope attractive thinking. You just didn't know what it was. Now you know it's hope, and there's power in hope. And allow hope to carry you further. Allow hope to carry you through. Allow hope to build you up and help you reach your fullest potential. Visit our website, theattractivethinker.guru, and I want you to place your information in the box there and check your email every day for 5 days. I have a message for you. You're going to receive it in your email. A message that will support you in allowing hope to rise in you, discovering your hope, first of all, having a relationship with hope, and deciding to never let hope slip through your fingers ever again, because there's power in hope. You always hear me say, my life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're doing it. Think attractively, and we will see you soon.